You can be faithful even when facing death. You can trust God even when the circumstances look hopeless. And you can put your hope in God even when you are facing persecution. The book of Daniel, chapter 6, beginning with verse 1. Daniel was a man who walked with God. He lived in a time when God's people were taken captive to a foreign land. Daniel continued to live a life that honored God. Despite the opposition that he faced, Daniel continued to pray to God 3 times a day, every day. Now, this made King Darius very happy because Daniel was a wise man, used his wisdom to help the king. So King Darius promoted him to a position of authority over all the other officials in the kingdom. Now, this made the other officials very angry. They were jealous of Daniel, so they plotted against him. Now, they went to the king and they tricked him. They said, "Listen, O king, all the officials and governors whom you have set over the kingdom are making everyone in the kingdom obey their own laws. And so, your majesty, please establish a decree that for 30 days no one is to pray to any god or man except yourself, your majesty. And whoever makes this as a new law and does not obey will be thrown immediately into the den of lions." Now, the king signed the decree, but he thought it was just a harmless little law. After all, why would someone want to pray to someone else if the king was at the top of the food chain? So Daniel heard about this new law, but guess what? Kept on praying to God, just like before. Now, after 30 days, the officials went looking for Daniel. They wanted to catch him breaking the law, so they found him in the temple, and he was praying and asking God for mercy. Then they took him and dragged him before the king. They said, "Listen, O king, we found this man praying to his God, and he doesn't care about your law. He doesn't care about you, so you should throw him into the lion's den." Then the king was very upset. He really liked Daniel, but now the law had to be followed. So he had Daniel thrown into the lion's den. He rolled a stone in front of the opening, sealed it with wax to make sure no one could get in or out. Then the king went home that night. Couldn't sleep. He fasted. All he did was hope and pray that God would somehow rescue Daniel. And at sunrise, the king came running to the den. He shouted, "Daniel, has your God been able to rescue you?" Daniel shouted back, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouth of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight." The king was so happy to hear this. Daniel was then pulled out of the den, and guess what? Not a single scratch was found on him. Now, because Daniel trusted in God, the conspirators who plotted against him were thrown into the den instead. And in a moment, the lions devoured them. Then King Darius made a public announcement. He said, "Daniel's God is the living God. He endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. He rescues and saves." As we close, let's think about this. Sometimes the world tries to silence our faith. Sometimes people try to take away our freedom to worship God. Sometimes there is persecution because of our faith. Sometimes there is pressure to compromise. Sometimes people try to trick us, but guess what? If we stay faithful, God still shuts the mouths of lions. Even when we are in the darkest place, God delivers those who trust in him. So never stop trusting Jesus. Never stop following Jesus. Don't ever stop worshiping Jesus, because Jesus is the living Lord, and he's worthy to be praised. Amen.